Hi, my friends call me Lime, and I argue that words like heterosexuality, homosexuality, or individually used very differently, and that this contributes to confusion, prejudice, and misrepresentation. And so I want to discuss what sexuality means, focusing on the meaning of these two words. And I also want to discuss that we may want sexual orientation to refer only to the sexual attraction. So then, true or false, a heterosexual is someone who has sex exclusively with people of the opposite gender. Well, it's not that simple. This definition focuses on the behavior, which is a problem because by this definition, people who are attracted to both genders count as either homo or heterosexual if they have sex exclusively with one partner. And people with exclusive same-sex attraction who have been pressured into heterosexual behavior count as heterosexual. And in my opinion, if pressure is the reason why, that is more like a gay person playing a straight character in a play. It's not real. You have to actually have the attraction. So a sexuality must be defined by the attraction, not the behavior, meaning this definition doesn't refer to heterosexuality, at least not on its own, and we should make sure to only refer to it as heterosexual behavior. And still, I find research papers with serious ambitions to measure the ratio of homo, hetero, and bisexuals, but then only ask questions like what gender they had sex with the last 12 months. And still I hear arguments like homosexuality is a behavior, not a civil right, using this definition for their homo-negative aims. So then, true or false, homosexuality is defined by the sexual attraction to people of the same gender. Well, we have established that a sexuality is defined by the attraction, and I often see this definition being used. So then let's discuss the prejudice that homosexuality is not about love, because by this definition they would be right, because it's limited to the sexual attraction. Which creates a problem because I personally, and I think many people with me, are referring to both attractions when we come out as homosexual. We're not saying that we want to have sex with the same gender but fall in love exclusively with the opposite. Meaning, in this context, romantic attraction is included in the definition. And with this in mind, it becomes almost comical hearing one side argue that homosexuality is not about love, and the other side argue that homosexuality is about love, when they're defining the word differently. They're not talking about the same thing, though they use the same word. So the question isn't really what homo and heterosexuality mean anymore, but rather what they should mean. Should they refer only to the sexual attraction? Well, one might argue that we need to unite behind the definition that refers to both attractions, because we need there to be no doubt that these orientations are about love too. But then again, maybe that's why we shouldn't use words like hetero and homosexual. And furthermore, sexual and romantic attraction don't always align. We have asexuals who only experience the romantic attraction, and aromantics who only experience the sexual. And people can probably be biromantic but homosexual, meaning in order to have the necessary vocabulary to talk about these kinds of orientations, we need a word that refers only to the sexual attraction and another word that refers only to the romantic. So then what do we choose? Well, as I see it, there are two solutions, and I want to present them using homosexuality as my example. One solution is to let homosexuality refer to both attractions and then choose another word referring only to the sexual, which we could if we update the definition for homoerotic a little. And another solution would be to let homosexuality refer only to the sexual attraction and then use gay when we want to refer to either or both attractions. Personally, I prefer the latter because the word sexual already implies sexual attraction. And for that reason, maybe we should stop talking about sexual orientation when we want to refer to both attractions and start talking about attraction orientation. And that in turn would allow us to use words like homo, hetero, and bi attraction. Now, despite these discussions, I'm still going to use sexuality referring to both attractions until such a time there's a recognized replacement. So, what do you think? Do you agree that the different definitions of sexuality is problematic? And if so, how would you propose we solve it? Would you be open to use words like homo attracted? Let me know in the comments below. Bye.